The world of self-publishing is constantly growing, and the options of what type of book you can write are endless. But with so many options, it's overwhelming to know where to start. That's why I'm breaking it down for you. In this video, I'm sharing the top 3 types of books you can write as a self-publisher. From fiction to nonfiction, even children's book, I'll give you the inside scoop of what sells and how to make your book stand out. Grab a notebook and pen and prepare to take the first step to becoming a successful self-published author. Self-publishing has become more popular in the recent years, and for good reason. With the rise of ebooks and print-on-demand technology, publishing your work is easier than ever. Plus, you have complete control over the process from editing to marketing. Today I'll be focusing on the 3 types of books that are most popular among self-publishers: memoirs and personal narratives, fiction and fantasy, and nonfiction with the self-help. Whether a first-time author or a seasoned pro, this video will give you the significant starting point for your self-publishing journey, so keep watching. Let's start with memoirs and personal narratives. These are great ways for writers to share their own experiences and perspective with readers. These books allow writers to delve deep into their lives and engagingly share their stories. One great example of a successful self-published memoir is The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls. It tells the story of her childhood and how she overcame her challenges. The book was an enormous success both as a self-published work and as a traditional book, and it was even made into a movie. Another example is Educated by Tara Westover. It tells the story of her upbringing in an abusive household and how she eventually earned a PhD from Cambridge University. The book was a tremendous success and has since been picked up by a traditional publisher. So what makes a memoir compelling? One key is to use vivid details in your writing. Instead of simply telling the reader what happened, show them through descriptive language and specific examples. It's important to stay true to your own voice. Don't be someone you're not or sugarcoat your experience. Readers will appreciate your honesty and authenticity. Another thing is to focus on a specific theme or thread that ties your story together. For example, The Glass Castle is not just a story about Wall's childhood, but it's also about the resilience and the power of family. Focusing on a specific theme can help readers connect with your story more deeply. When writing your memoir or personal narrative, it's important to remember that you are the only person who can tell your story. You are the expert on your experiences, so don't be afraid to share them. With the right approach and hard work, you can create a memoir that will resonate with readers for years. Another popular type we have is the fiction and fantasy. Fiction and fantasy are incredibly popular genres that allow writers to use their imaginations to create new worlds and characters. The possibilities are endless, whether it's a magical realm or a futuristic society. One of the most successful self-published fiction and fantasy novels is The Martian by Andy Weir. This book tells the story of an astronaut stranded on Mars and his struggle to survive. It's a great example of how a writer can take a seemingly impossible scenario and turn it into a captivating story. What are some tips for writing good fiction and fantasy? First, Create relatable characters. Even if the story occurs in a fantasy world, the characters should have relatable emotions and struggles that the readers can connect with. You can also use descriptive language to transport readers to another world. This can be done through vivid imagery and detailed descriptions of the settings and characters. This will help the reader to fully immerse themselves in the story and feel like they are part of it. Not to forget, it's important to know that a good story is a good story, regardless of the genre. Fiction and fantasy are great genres for self-publishing because they allow writers to use their imagination to create new worlds and characters. With relatable characters and descriptive language, a fiction or fantasy novel can be just as compelling as any other genre. If you have a great story to tell, don't be afraid to self-publish it as a fiction or fantasy novel. The last one we have is the nonfiction and self-help category, which is what I'm mostly known for. Such books allow writers to share their expertise and knowledge with readers. They can cover various topics from business and personal development to health and wellness. And with the rise of self-publishing, it's now easier than ever for authors to share their message with the world. An example of a successful self-published nonfiction and self-help book is The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. This book not only helped thousands of readers, but has also become a bestseller. Now, for those who are wondering, how do you write a successful nonfiction or self-help book? First, it's important to provide practical advice that readers can implement into their own lives. This means making specific and giving step-by-step instructions. It's also important to include personal anecdotes that make the information more relatable. This will help readers connect with the material and make it more meaningful. Another thing is to make sure your book is well organized and easy to read. This means using headings, subheadings to break up the text and using bullet points and lists to make the information more digestible. Make sure you polish your work by proofreading and editing it to make it more professional. So if you're an expert in your field and have valuable knowledge and skills to share, consider self-publishing a nonfiction or self-help book. With the right approach and a little hard work, you can reach thousands of readers and make a real impact on their lives. I hope this has given you a better understanding of the books you can write as a self-publisher. Self-publishing is a great way to get your work out there and to teach a wider audience. So whether you're a fiction writer, nonfiction writer, or a poet, don't be afraid to experiment with different genres and find the one that works best for you. And if you're thinking about self-publishing your book, go for it. The world needs more voices and stories. Don't forget to leave your comments or questions below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks again, and keep watching. If you've enjoyed this content, then go ahead and check out this playlist.